The best roles aren't found, they find you. So I'll say it again, the best roles aren't found, they find you. But the question is, are you visible enough? Are you clear enough? And are you niche enough for them to find you? So, in this episode, I will be diving into the reality of really developing a powerful career that you own, particularly in industry. The reality is that most of the great opportunities, the best opportunities for you, are not going to be on an advert. So, how do you get finding them? That is a big question. So, let's dive in. Actually, I was inspired to do this episode quite quickly, and I've probably done something similar before, by a post that came up on LinkedIn about the reality of a lot of these opportunities, whether it's working with businesses, whether it's working with individuals, even when you're getting an employed job, right? Like a lot of these opportunities just aren't ever going to be online. They just don't come up online, right? In fact, you're hearing from someone like me who actually just creates the opportunities that work for me. So, for example, I'm currently in the best job of my life because I created it, right? I know me, I know what works, I know what I love, I know what I don't like. And this is why I'm such a big proponent and fan of the clinician entrepreneur, because you create something that you love for you, making the impact that you want at scale, right? So if you're someone that's like, could I ever possibly find the right role that's suitable for me? Then listen on, because yes, you can. You've just got to believe it, right? So where should we start? I had a fellow who was really, really interested in developing a medtech career, like a consulting medtech career. And like many doctors, was trawling on LinkedIn, indeed all of these ad sites, right? And like every other doctor, right, these days, and could not get through the door. Literally could not get through the door. So when I started working with them, I was like, so why medtech? And the problem was that just was not clear. It was just one thing that they were generally interested in. They were interested in devices, apps. It was very general and not very specific. So when we really dug deeper, it came to light that actually the interest wasn't really in medtech specifically. It was the person going off in a kind of herd mentality, because that's a popular thing to do. And they were like, well, what can I do? Like, what is it? Where is my niche? And interestingly enough, this person then decided, I really love designing stuff. I really love products as well. I really love technology, but design is the key thing for me. So it was this that then led this person to realize that actually they were best placed to help with user design and technology and position themselves as such, right? When I say position themselves, I don't mean just change their LinkedIn statement. I mean that they took on that personality. So whenever we go on this journey, we are the person that we want to be. We own it, right? If we don't own it and we don't believe it, then how do we expect anyone else to, right? So took on that persona of belief, this is who I am now, and then started going to events, started having conversations, and basically developed themselves as an independent consultant, managed to get a few small consulting gigs in that space. And then one of their clients was like, hey, we really love what you're doing. Do you want to come and work with us a little bit longer? More projects. Hey, we really love what you're doing. We've got this role that we haven't advertised. Do you want it as the UX lead? And they were like, well, of course. Because at the end of the day, right, this person, and you listen to my podcast where I talk about the three doors, the front door, the side door, the back door, right? So this person basically managed to get in through the back door and then the side door. So the back door is in that they found their clients through relationships and network, and the side door is like when they were in the company, they kind of moved into another role, right? That was never advertised. So this story should really give you an overview of how you're missing out on most, if not all, of the opportunities that are perfect for you. The best opportunities for you are either going to be created for you or you create them, right? Created for you or you create them. But you've got to be in the right spaces and clarity to really know what that is. So I'm just going to walk you through some really key points that you can really consider and take action on today if you want to really nab those non-advertised opportunities, right? So these are opportunities you will never see online. No one's ever going to like hand this to you on a plate unless you position yourself accurately. So the first step is build your credibility and your visibility before you actually need it. So build your visibility and credibility before you actually need it. So what am I saying? Like basically, you've just got to get started yesterday. Don't delay. Even if you're like, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, it's not really a priority. Don't wait until it's priority. Don't wait until it's urgent, because then you'll be scrambling and then you'll look desperate, and no one wants to work with desperate, right? So it's really important to see this as a longer term investment. If you have a good idea of to where you're going, or you just want that cushion in case whatever you're doing now doesn't work out, start yesterday, right? And I'm not saying start with your CV. Start going to events. Start writing some articles if you're a writing person. Start getting onto some podcasts if you're a speaking person, and just really take that ownership of your niche, right? Over time, it's not just the I do one thing. It's multiple things consistently over time, being seen for a long period of time. So if you're listening to me, you may have been listening to me for the last 11 years, right? I'm still going, right? And that in itself builds up that credibility and trust, I would hope. But that is the reality of it. So build the credibility and visibility before you need it. So when people are ready to find you, they know where to look, and they already know that you're valuable. So you do not have to be doing any convincing, right? And so I love the whole magnet approach, where you're like, I'm here, but you don't need to invite people to you because they know you're there. And when they're ready, they're like, I know Anitra, she is great at ghostwriting. I will just go to her because I'm actually need to write this book now, right? You want to be there already, not like I'm looking for someone. That's like the more competitive way, right? The next point is network. I know that's where the word is like thrown around, but network like an insider, right? So again, this is a positioning tool. And it's really about just getting off the online, or the kind of broad spectrum online, and really getting into those niche circles where you're more likely to be seen, heard, and connected with, right? The niche circles, right? So a lot of the opportunities that we share are within our private communities, in Doctors in Industry, in some of the health tech WhatsApp groups, the in-person stuff, the someone gives you a call stuff. That's where you want to be. But if you look at your phone, evaluate how many people literally on your phone right now, A, know what you're doing, what your value is, and B, would refer you on to something, or C, would call you for an opportunity. Talking about on your phone, not on your LinkedIn, on your phone, right? Because phone is more personal. So I prefer WhatsApp out of all of the platforms now, WhatsApp, because basically business is relationships, opportunities are relationships. And if you can WhatsApp someone quite casually, it really gives that sign of trust, right? And so you want to get to that level with the right people. So when an opportunity comes up, it's like, hey, do you want this opportunity? I'll tell you a story about someone that I know, actually, in a very, very highly eminent position. So they were in control of quite a large community, right? Quite a large influential community. And I asked them, like, how did you get that role? And basically that role was not advertised, it was given. It was given. And when I talk about community, it was in a healthcare setting, right? A healthcare setting. And it was just given because they just happened to know the person who wanted it set up, basically. And they were given the funding and then go, right? Simple as that. No competition, no formal interviews, and you'd be surprised. This happens very, very, very commonly. behind closed doors. And so as doctors, we're conditioned and trained to be like, oh, you've got to go down this like formal route, which actually is the fairer route, to be fair. Like it definitely is. It tends to be a bit more transparent and a bit more accessible, but hugely competitive. But the reality is in industry, it doesn't work as open and transparently as that. And it's still a bit of a wild west, to be fair. So it's a different game. That's the best way for me to describe it. It's a different game. So play the game if you want to get the outcome that you're after, right? So network like an insider. Find today, where is your ideal employer or client hanging out? Where do they hang out outside of the LinkedIn spaces, right? The niche groups. Where are they having those conversations? What events are they going to? And I would recommend, I mean, because people love conferences, is a great way to go and meet people, but it tends to be very transactional. So where else can you go where you've got that intimate setting? Use an example of I've met the last 2 months, I've met Daniel Priestley in person, had a chat with him. He is the guy from Score App and Key Person of Influence. And I also met Stephen Bartlett, bumped into him at an event that just happened to be where I was working, had a chat with him. Had I not been in those spaces where cool people hang out, like there wouldn't be any chance of that serendipity, you know? So I'm a massive fan of serendipitous moments where you can find the person that will help you move to your next milestone, right? So network like an insider and be ready when that opportunity presents itself. So I also see doctors, when the opportunity's there, they don't take it. It's like, why would you not? Fear, but you need to be ready before you're ready. That's key. And the last one is position yourself as high value and not available. So positioning yourself as high value is like something that doctors are hugely terrible at. Most doctors, not all doctors, but most, even though we are essentially seen as high value assets. Then a lot of that, again, is because of the conditioning of, particularly in public sector environments, whereby we're not really seen as like hugely valuable, and we're relatively confined in a space where our value is not really like strongly recognized, right? In industry, it is a bit of a different story, but what I see is doctors moving from public to industry and carrying that whole kind of legacy of, I'm just a doctor, I don't know industry, I don't know commercial, I'm not going to be valuable, I have to go and do more qualifications to be better at this, blah, 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 ruining the credibility, ruining the high value aspect, right? And ruining your chances of actually getting a higher paid income that you're happy with. We don't have to work all the hours, right? Ruining it, decimating it. Stop right now if that's you. Stop right now. So it's really important to realize that exclusivity, premium equals attractive, right? And this is why, especially when we work with doctors, is the first part of our roadmap is clarity, just being super, super clear on who you can help and who you can provide the most value to. Because what you don't want is to try and help everyone, because then you're not valuable. So you only help people who have a specific problem. For example, I only help doctors who are ambitious leaders who specifically want to develop and grow their industry careers where they can make an impact at scale. Right? So that's very, very specific. I don't help every doctor. I used to. I don't do that now. So I've niched down over time. So for you, you need to be super selective as to who is it that you can help and what problems you're solving for them. Right? So who is it that you can help and what problems are you solving for them? Because the more clear that you are, the more focused you are, and the more like when you have that conversation, they're like, you're for me. Not you're for everyone. You're for me, my specific problem. Like we live in a world where we're so connected these days, and there's so much, there's an abundance, right? There's overwhelm. So people are like picky as to who they work with, because they want someone that literally knows their inside out, because then there's more trust that they can actually help them, right? So position yourself as high value. And that's also in like how you present yourself. Do not say, I am just a doctor. Like, you're a doctor. You're a doctor with a huge amount of experience. You've got these qualifications, but also you've got these awards. You've got this network. A lot of doctors don't forget about the network as being a huge value asset. just connecting someone, money, and a whole range of other things, right? That's really, really, really valuable in industry. So do not undersell yourself, because the minute you start doing that is when the money starts dropping, when the perceived value starts dropping. And the other part of that is don't always be available and ready to go, right? The reason for that is people love FOMO and scarcity and urgency. And things can happen very slowly. People don't like to make quick decisions, and it just slows things down. And if people see that you're available or too available, then there's a likelihood that they will slow things down, or they may not see you as valuable. So again, this is a skill. This takes time. But that kind of like minimal availability element is part of a strategy to make sure you end up working with the right people. And you can also communicate that in your pricing. So if you are someone who helps high value clients, say for example a company that has multi-millions or more in turnover, and you're looking for a salary or income of 6 figures plus, right? And there's only one of you, then you're going to be like, well, hey, thank you for approaching me, but I've got all these other companies that are interested in me, and I'm probably going to sign with one of them too. So why should I consider you? Again, the tables are turned. Who's doing the interview now, right? Scarcity, urgency, not as much availability, that kind of principle there. So hopefully that will get you started and get you thinking, but most important, get you actioning. That's key. We're great at thinking as doctors, but not so much at actioning. So let me go through my key points again. Number 1, build the credibility and visibility before you need it. Don't wait until you're desperate. 2, network like an insider. Don't go where everyone else is. Go to those niche areas where the people that you can help the most are hanging out, right? And number 3, position yourself as high value and do not undersell yourself. And FOMO, scarcity, urgency mindset is key. It's poker, guys. It's real poker. So remember, as I said at the beginning, the best roles aren't found, they find you. And if you really want to step into your power shift, if you really want to influence, if you really want to grow your medical career, expand it beyond just clinical, then stop chasing those job boards. The best opportunities are either created by you or created for you. So the question is, what are you going to do next when that next opportunity comes knocking for you? So I hope you found that useful. And if you want to consider working with me and my amazing group of doctors who are developing high value careers in industry faster than doctors do on their own, then go to our website, doctorsinindustry.com, or check me up on LinkedIn and send me a DM. I respond. I love hearing from doctors like yourselves. Anyway, take care. And next episode will be soon.